Live from the Bob Levy Broadcast Center, overlooking the Toms River, it's time to get up, get out, do something. Wake up with Jeremy Grunin. Be a part of the show, 732-505-1160. News Talk Radio WOBM AM 1160 and 1310. Listen online at WOBMAM.com.
Hey, welcome back. Wake up with Jeremy Grunin. 7:07 Thursday, August 11th, 77 degrees. Get up to 92 today. WOBM AM 1160 and 1310. News Talk Radio. Streaming live on the Radio Pop app at WOBMAM.com. 732-505-1160 to join the conversation. And the conversation now turns to the arts with our friend of the show, Mark Cunningham. Good morning, sir. How are you?
I'm good, Jeremy. How are you this morning?
I'm good. Mark, I know that we were supposed to talk about the arts this morning, but why don't we just talk about Tara instead? What do you think about that?
She's in the car listening to us.
I know, but let's talk. Let's listen. It's so rare that on radio with, at least 6 people listening, that an actual husband and a work husband get to talk about their actual wife/work wife together. So don't you think this would be a great opportunity to do that?
I think you're trying to get me in trouble. But, I like living dangerously, yes. So, knock yourself out.
No. So I bring it up because, so we had a last-minute cancellation here on the show yesterday. And so Tara Cunningham, who is the rock star, director of strategic planning for the Jay and Linda Grunin Foundation, of course, she may or may not have told her husband, real husband, that, hey, you're going to be on the radio tomorrow morning, so get ready. So did she tell you at least?
Well, yes.
All right, then.
Of when she told me.
All right. Well, let's move along. All right. So listen, Mark, you have become so intertwined in the arts movement in downtown Toms River that we have actually a number of different things to talk about. Number one, tell me first, where did your love of music start? Because, I look at your Facebook and I see, a post on there and I look and I say, wow, he is so different than me, because you had a post, I think, this past weekend where the kids all left. The kids were all exhausted. You had a bunch of kids sleep over, blah, blah, blah. And you're unwinding by playing the guitar in the back, on the back of the house. I would unwind by falling asleep on my couch or watching TV. So where did your love of music and your aptitude for it come from?
I don't know where it comes from. It's always been there since I was a kid. I always loved to play. And as I got older, I always loved to write music. So for me, it's a way of unwinding.
Yeah.
What I do in work is different. I work in finance, and when I get those opportunities to relax and have a little bit of quiet, then the guitar comes out, and sometimes songs come out. It's a way of telling stories. It's a way of processing the things that happen in life. So I can't. If I ever go too long without picking up the guitar, I get a bit antsy. Yeah, it's just a part of who I am, and but I don't do it for a living. So we like to help people who do it for a living. And bring them to downtown. So there's a couple of different projects I'm involved in. The first of which we spoke about before in the show, the listening room, and we can talk about that.
Yeah, we will. But wait, first of all, Mark, you need to put the phone up to your mouth and talk into it directly, because I feel like we're going through the 12, we're going through different vortexes of the of the universe. So just help us out there a little bit. So who were your early musical influences as a young boy, a young lad growing up in Ireland?
Well, there's music everywhere in Ireland. I can call you back on a different line maybe in a little while if that helps.
No, you're good. Go ahead.
I'm pretty normally into the phone.
Oh, okay.
Might be something wrong with my phone. There's music everywhere in Ireland. Lots of kids everywhere. I got lessons growing up. You'd listen to the radio. Same as American kids, you would have used those things called cassette tapes to tape the songs you loved, and then maybe you'd learn how to play them.
Right.
But it was very inspirational. Ireland was very economically repressed country when I was growing up, and to see a band like U2 come out of Ireland and be embraced by America in the 80s and 90s, that was very inspirational to anyone who played music at home. Like, to think that a small country of 4 million people, we could produce acts like that could go on to dominate the world, and nobody really thought they'd still be doing it today. In their 50s, they're still out there touring the whole time.
Why don't you tell everyone the story of when Bono called you and asked you to join U2, but instead you said no, and instead he found the Edge? Do you want to tell us about that?
Yeah, maybe another day. That's
okay.
In my autobiography.
All right, good. Well, we'll have to, at least I've sufficiently prepped everyone for that. So why don't you kind of go through a little bit about the listening room, because that's coming up this weekend on Sunday night downtown. So why don't you tell us first kind of about, how this has evolved over the last year?
Yeah, well, as I said, I'm from Ireland. I've been coming to Tom's River forward and back for, 15, 16 years. Married to Tara, who you mentioned is from here. But when we moved, I found I'd go to Asbury Park for a gig, or to go into the city if I wanted to see a gig. And I thought, well, with so many people here and so many lovely people here, there's got to be an interest in music, and there's got to be an interest in the art, and there doesn't seem to be too many places to experience that. And some friends that I've made after I moved, Noel Carino, Dominic Carino, Danny Clinch, and Maria Clinch, I asked them would they be interested in starting something. And I said, yes, let's give it a shot. So we started with this idea of a pop-up monthly, give or take monthly, so every 6 weeks, doing a music and art club, or making it into a pop-up venue, for want of a better term. So, just for one night, we turn one side up over Mean Beans on Washington and Main Street, that corner there. We turn it into a venue, and we try to bring artists that wouldn't ordinarily come to Tom's River, and invite our guests to come over early and bring food and wine and beer and share, have a conversation with their friends, talk to our visual artists. And then we have 2 music acts for them. It's been going really well.
Great.
I really enjoy it. We're getting... Sorry, Jimmy.
Great. So we're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, I'd like to kind of hear about what this month's artists have for us. And by the way, while we're in the break, Mark, if you want to switch telephones, that wouldn't be miserable for us.
Okay, let me see if I can.
All right, cool. All right. Wake Up with Jeremy Grunin, Mark Cunningham, talking about the arts in downtown Tom's River. Back after this.
Everything you need to know about the Jersey Shore. This is Wake Up with Jeremy Grunin. News Talk Radio, WOBM AM 1160 and 1310.
Hey, welcome back. Wake Up with Jeremy Grunin. Mark, you there? Mark?
Yes, can you hear me?
Oh, yes. That's good. Can you just do us a favor, please, and just repeat everything you said in the last segment? That would be great.
No problem.
No.
I'm sorry. It was garbled.
No, it's not. It's not. You know what? You know what it is? It's hard enough understanding what you foreigners are saying, but then you added a phone line like that. It's craziness. No, I'm joking. All right. So tell us about this week's what we have coming up this weekend at the listening room, because it's a pretty cool lineup, right?
It is, yeah. So if you come down on Sunday night, you would get there, as I said, you have the choice of getting there a little early if you wanted to bring some food and something to drink, to share. Our doors open at 5. Our first act would go on at 6. And our first act is Rose Lees, a Tom's River resident. She's, I believe, a 17-year-old girl who's just at the start of her music career. She came to attention of Noel. And she put it to us. The way we do it is by committee. So all 3 of us have to agree that an act is going to do well for our listeners,
right,
our guests at the listening room. So Rose is going to open for us, and that's a good example of us trying to support local talent. Then we'll have another break for about a half an hour after her set, where we will, people have another opportunity to look at the art. And our visual artist this month is Joni Sancherico. And Joni is a Tom's River resident as well, and is highly regarded for her kind of abstract landscapes, I would say. I'm a musician, not an artist, but I think that's the term you would use to describe her art.
Right.
And they're very interesting. They're really cool, and they'll be up all over our space, so you'll be able to enjoy those and possibly buy a piece or two if you're so inclined. But then you get to talk to the artist, and usually Danny Clinch, who is one of our curators, interviews our visual artist because he's a visual artist himself, and they have a brief conversation for 5 or 10 minutes about what the methods and processes and so on that you wouldn't ordinarily get if you're just looking at some art. You get a little bit of the background to how that artist approaches their work and what inspires them. He had a very good conversation with any of the artists that have come through. It's always interesting. And so then after that, we have our main act. And our main act is a band called Parsonfield from Massachusetts. They're a bunch of guys in their probably early 30s who play a very distinctive type of bluegrass, a very folky feel, and extremely energetic on their instruments. I love these guys, and since we started the listening room, I've been looking forward to getting them to Towns River, and happily Sunday's the day for that. So yeah,
that's cool.
It's going to be a nice night.
Yeah, and I saw Rose performed on the second stage at the Soulsational Festival a couple weekends ago, and she is a phenomenal singer, your opening act. So if she's the opening act, I can only imagine how great the main headliner is going to be. So should be a fun night. I can't wait to go with my wife and hang out and listen to good music, and right here in the heart of Toms River. And that's at One Flight Up. What's the address there? How do people learn more about that?
So it's 73 Main Street is the address. One Flight Up is a venue above Mean Beans. So if you're on the corner of Washington Street and Main Street, you see Mean Beans burrito joint.
Right.
So after you go in there and buy a burrito, you can come upstairs. There's an elevator off to the left-hand side. But if you're coming, please email listen.tr@gmail.com. It's the simplest way for us to get back to you and let you know that you've reserved a spot, or send you our link to PayPal, which helps us out as well.
Very cool.
In advance.
Right. And all the money goes where?
All the money goes directly to the artists. It's
right.
Actually, I didn't mention how much it costs. It costs $25 to come in, and that money goes directly to our musicians. Any sales our visual artists make are commission free. And he learned recently, which I found was very interesting, that most artists, when they go to a gallery and hang their work and have that gallery sell their work for them, they give up 50% of the gross to the gallery.
Right.
You're trying to make a living as an artist, and you might sell something for $500 or sell something for $5,000, depending on the type of work you do. You're giving up half of it straight away to the gallery, so we don't charge anything for that. And give all the proceeds. Every dollar you pay, all the proceeds will go to the musicians to keep them doing what they're doing.
It's kind of like the difference between living in America versus living in Ireland.
What do you mean?
Like the amount of taxation, how much the kickback is to the man. You know what I mean? Anyway, moving right along. Tell me about Art in the Park, which we've now added 3 syllables to this year, right? So we've gone from Art in the Park last year to Art in the Park in Garage this year. That was at Huddy Park last year, and I know you handled you handled the music last year, right?
That's right, yeah. So Art in the Park's been going for a couple of years. It's an initiative of Track to the Toms River artist community, and it's run very well by their committee. We had thousands of people go through Huddy Park last August, around the same time. It was the third Saturday in August. So their members show off their art. They all set up stands and show off their art for the day. And this last year we added music. So we had a music stage going, the Toms River Original Musicians stage.
Right. And
we had 6 acts play for the crowd during the day. And it seemed to go very well,
Yes.
Musicians like artists and artists like musicians.
Absolutely. So I'm going to cut you off right there because we're up against a break. When we come back, let's talk about how it's going to be different this year, and I'm sure you have some surprises up your sleeve about what we have on tap for this year, right?
Sure, yeah.
Sure, you'll come up with something. You have about 7 minutes to figure it out. Wake Up with Jeremy Grunin, Mark Cunningham, talking about the arts in downtown Toms River. We'll be back after these words.
Wake Up with Jeremy Grunin. News Talk Radio WOBM AM 1160 and 1310. Live from Town Square Towers at the heart of the Jersey Shore. Wake up with Jeremy Grunin. Get up, get out, do something. Join the conversation. 732-505-1160. News Talk Radio WOBM AM 1160 and 1310. Listen online at WOBMAM.com.
Hey, welcome back. Wake up with Jeremy Grunin. 7:34, Thursday, August 11th. 77 degrees, get up to 92 today. WOBM AM 1160 and 1310. News Talk Radio, streaming live on Radio Pup app at WOBMAM.com, 732-505-1160. Beware of the thunderstorms later today. We are joined on the line by Mark Cunningham. We are talking about the arts, in Toms River. So, art in the park to art in the parking garage. So, what's going to be different this year, Mark? What do we have on tap?
Okay, well, it's moving because, as people may know, Huddy Park is being redone by the township this summer, so that wasn't available. So we had a very successful art in the park there the last couple of years, especially last year. There were, as I mentioned earlier, thousands of people came through and hundreds of local artists exhibiting. So that's all moving this year, and it's moving to the back of the parking garage. It's not necessarily in the parking garage, although you can park there for free if you wish. So there's a lovely lawn behind it that you may know if you go down Hadley Avenue. There's a lovely, very well-landscaped lawn behind the parking garage, so that would be on the other side of Hooper Avenue. That's where we're having it this year. So you can come down there anytime from 11 to 5 on August 20th, so it's a week on Saturday, and you'll see many local artists and other artists from the region who've come in to show off their wares. And as you mentioned earlier, I'll be running the music stage, so we'll have the Toms River Original Musicians stage, people playing original songs for us. I'm sure there'll be a cover or two thrown in as well. We've got 5 or 6 acts there as well to entertain you as you walk around and see the art. There'll be a poetry corner, and I believe we may have some dancers join us at some point. There'll be a couple of food trucks on site. If you're looking for something to replace the paintings on your wall or the photographs on your wall, or just feel like getting out of the house, getting out and doing something, I can't think of a better thing to do a week on Saturday. So it's Art in the Park on Hadley Avenue behind the parking garage.
Right, and these are local artists, so that's important. I think we a lot of times you go to some of these festivals and you see a lot of what you believe is local art, and you're trying to support the community, and then you find out it's somebody who drove down from Maine and they did some pictures of some stuff at Seaside and stuff like that, and it almost makes you feel empty to some extent because you want to support local folks. That's kind of the important piece of a small community, small tightly knit community like we have here at the Jersey Shore. So really good stuff. Any particular artist or any particular musician that you think we should really be looking out for because they're really, really super impressive?
If I've asked you to be on the musician stage, it's because I believe you've got something very special or unique to offer. So I would kind of defer to just say that any time you might pass by the musician stage, and we'll have a tent set up this year as well. I know last year it was very warm because of the time of year. And even though a lot of people were sitting and listening, it was kind of uncomfortable because it was so hot. So we've managed to get the budget together to have a tent this year to, some shade as people listen. So hopefully be able to sit there and enjoy the music for a while. But yeah, I think you're going to be impressed with anyone you hear. We have Dominic Carino, who I mentioned earlier. We have the May Darlings, who are wonderful. They're a couple, and they sing the most beautiful harmonies in their music. We've had them at the listening room before. You may remember. Who else have we got? Christian Beach. I'll probably do a couple of songs myself if everybody's still around. We'll take it as it comes. But you will hear some original musicians in the same ways you're going to see original art around the place, and hopefully you'll see a piece or two that you'd like to take home for that spot on your wall. Some really talented photographers,
right?
Sure, and some great visual artists. Or you may want to hang around and buy a CD off somebody who who you just heard play.
Right.
Also local.
Yeah, and I actually saw the May Darlings again a couple weeks ago. I happened to be in Asbury, and they were performing like at the Asbury Hotel. So it's amazing when you start kind of getting involved in the scene a little bit, that you start to kind of hear some of the really talented folks, and you hear them over and over again, and you really start to become a fan. And we're so blessed to have so many really, really talented artists, both in the visual arts and in the musical arts that we are graced with here at the Jersey Shore. And Mark, it really does amaze me. All kidding aside, as a guy that has a full-time job, right? You have a full-time job, have 3 kids, right? Your wife obviously works, right? And yet you find the time to do things like the listening room, like Art in the Park, not to mention the fact that you've become more and more active in the Chamber of Commerce. You had the Economic Development Committee. It really is amazing how much you give back to the community, and thank you so much for all you're doing for the folks at the Jersey Shore.
Oh, you're very kind, Jeremy. It's a pleasure. Tom's River is such a nice place to live, and if you're going to get involved in a new community you move to, what better way than the things that you enjoy, So I've obviously 2 different sides to my life. I enjoy the arts and music, and I enjoy business and finance. Giving back in those ways has allowed me to. I really am the net beneficiary here. I've met so many lovely people, made some great friends, and Tom's River is just a super place, and it's only getting better and better.
Good stuff. Mark Cunningham, thank you so much for your time this morning, and we'll talk to you again soon.
Pleasure, Jeremy. Thank you.
Awesome. Wake Up with Jeremy Grunin, back after this.